Hi, you're listening to Phil DeBella, and this is FlashCast by PDB. And today it gives me great pleasure to bring on not only just a good friend, but one of the world's best CEOs, Mr. Don Mij. Don, welcome.
How are you, Phil? World's best. It's a bit out there.
Come on, mate. You're a very talented man. You're one of the world's best, hands down. Certainly one of Australia's best CEOs. So for your innovative thinking, entrepreneurship, and what you've done with the Domino's brand is phenomenal. You started in as a delivery driver, and you've worked your way up to expand the business beyond belief. And so I think you deserve that accolade. But I'm going to run you through the 5 questions. I couldn't think of too many people much better than yourself to go through the 5 questions that I like to ask people, because I think you've got so much wisdom and depth to share with people. So we'll get stuck into it. What is your favourite mantra, words, quotes, or saying, and how does it inspire you?
Yeah, the first one, I have 3 that I work really hard on. One of them is you can't retire and stay at Domino's. You know, a lot of people, when they get successful, and we're in a franchise organisation, some of our franchisees get quite significant. They get a lot of stores, start making some good money. And then, you know, a young manager will come up and say, Don, why do you work so hard still? And I say, well, because, you know, in this business, you've got to be on it, always on it. You've got to understand all the numbers. And so one is you can't retire and stay. Number 2 is you've always got to turn up to training if you expect to play the game. And the analogy in that is that you've got to continue to learn. You know, if you don't continue to learn, you're going to get left behind, you're going to get dropped out. And the last one, which is the foundation of our whole business, is that the whole mentality of our business is to grow yourself to success rather than save yourself to success. So, you know, in business, you've got 2 choices, and people get it confused. People think, well, if you're always growing, does that mean you can be extravagant and waste money? No, you know, you've got to be efficient. Otherwise, you know, all waste gets passed on to the customer, and therefore, you know, you outprice yourself in the business. So grow yourself to success is a model we call high volume mentality internally, but it's all about, you know, continually feeding that growth.
Yeah, and 2 things that stand out, not only from knowing you, but from what you've said, is that you're at the top of the game. You know, Domino's is outperforming its competitors, doing amazing, but yet the dedication and devotion and time you put to being better tomorrow than what you are today is just outstanding and inspiring. And you're, sell yourself to success, not save yourself to success. I've used that myself after hearing it from you years ago. It's so true, because so many organisations, and I experienced it firsthand with the company that obviously bought my company, is that they want to save themselves to success, and you just keep spiralling down because there's only a certain amount of areas that you can save. So some really good nuggets there for listeners. Second question, if you could solve one problem in the world, what would it be, and how would you go about it?
Yeah, these are 2 interlinked. I always think if you can give every kid on the planet an education, and you can give them health, in other words, that we have, you know, pretty well free medical across the globe, you give those 2 things to everybody on the planet, then there's nothing holding anybody back. You know, whether you're wealthy or poor, if 2 kids rock up and they've got education, they've always got their health, then after that, it's just going to come down to what they do with that. The disadvantage is when you don't have one of those 2 things, and they can really hold you back. So, yeah, I thought a lot about, you know, the environment and so on, and I think they're all important. But those 2 things still, to me, are 2 of the most powerful things that give every kid a chance if you can give both those. And we do our little share of that. You know, we always continue to invest in education, and we also, as a business, sponsor a lot of, kids into school and university. And we employ 84,000 people, most of them young and growing at a significant rate. So education's a huge part of that. But health's the other one. And there's a lot of people on the planet that aren't as fortunate as Australians, that where, you know, you don't really have that health. So you fall on hard times, and, you know, even wealthiest nation in the world, the USA, sometimes people don't get MRIs because they think it costs $2,500.
Yeah.
Australia's significantly less than that. You know, got a little bit of ailment, get an MRI.
Yeah, it's true, very true. And 2 good points, right? And never had the answers like that before, which is great. And it is true, right, when you think about education and health, which is what we all need, right, to be better educated and to be in good health. Question 3, what is your biggest fear, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, my biggest fear, I'm a public company CEO, and I'd lie to you if you're always looking into the future, always investing in the future, because my fear is that running out of growth and for the business. And so having to reinvent yourself to keep up with that. I have lots of phobias. I have shark phobia. I hate snakes, and a fear also around my health. To remain at top of your game, you've got to be really healthy. Your brain's got to be really healthy. So, but the health really feeds into being on top of your game, because this is, especially in a global world. When we were in Germany and Japan and France, and here in Australia, a very competitive place, and that fear of failure, because we weren't staying ahead of the game. So, sleepless nights for me is when I see something pop up in the business that I think could take us out. Yeah. In our own business, often it's our own mistakes. Yeah. That's when my sleepless nights come.
So how do you deal with it?
Yeah, well, I mean, surrounding yourself with really good people helps, because to have good counsel all the time, and I don't have to decide everything in this business. There's a lot of really talented people. So, sharing those fears and concerns with really talented people, you help work together to solve it. And together, it's not one person trying to come up with every answer. But the other side about a lot of those sort of fears is that face the truth. A lot of people go in denial. My fear is more that we are in denial. So what is the truth? Because if you find the truth, and that means also make sure you don't surround yourself with yes people. Make sure you've got good friends that will also tell you what they really think. Because the problem in business is you can get consensus. Everyone starts believing their own bullshit all the time. So I'm really proud. We have quite an aggressive and objective team that challenge things, and we get to try to get to the truth. Even if that means bringing in people with completely opposite views just to hear their views, and that's how you find solutions.
Yeah, some great points there. Excellent points. What lesson, experience, or moment in life has changed the way you think?
Yeah, so I think it still comes back to this whole grow mentality. From a very young age, watching the two alternatives in our early startup of our business, we struggled, and we were trying to save ourselves rich. We always thought if we could reduce the break even of the business, we would therefore have more stores. But what we did is we just kept cutting corners for the customer. Cheaper built stores, less equipment that couldn't do volume, cheaper ingredients, cheaper product. We were failing. And every time we brought the break even down, we kept going below that. And as soon as we started investing to grow and investing in better product, better service, better image, better people, and so on, that's when we really took off. So that's never lost on me that at just about every point in your life you get this junction, and I learned that really, really early on, and I obsess about it.
Yeah, no, it's great, and that's what brings on the innovation. Obviously, the forward thinking, 3-year strategy. I know you're always working, from 3 years at least ahead of what's going on and releasing
5 and 10 in some things.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Last question. Finish this sentence. When I leave a room, I would like people to.
Yeah, I think if people said that he contributed, that he added value, that he was genuine, that you felt like you sat with someone who cared and was ethical, that he listened. One of the downsides is often people like this, people are asking me the questions, and it's really, how do you keep turning the questions back around into questions to the individuals as well? So I think one of the best things you can do with people is really get to what they really want to know, and then genuinely give yourself to that. Because, especially as a young entrepreneur and so on, you feel like people are asking you advice because you've got success and you want to give it because you want to help people. But actually one of the best things you can do, and I hope the value when you leave the room is someone says, gee, that guy was a pretty good bloke and he really did care and he really did listen and he really got to my real answers rather than just some manufactured ones that he wanted to give me.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, as a friend, obviously, we've known each other for many years, it truly is the truth, and you've stayed grounded, you've stayed humbled, and you're the first one to give advice and help people. And I know that we caught up for dinner with the kids and they absolutely loved it. They still rave about it. The questions around the table that you asked and made everyone go around. So it's a true testament to what you've done. So, Don, it's actually an honour to have you on the show, because not just obviously as a mate of mine, but the people that are listening to this are going to get so much value of what you've shared. And it also helps them understand that Domino's is not about pizza. Domino's is about community. It's about people. It's about a movement. It's about solving problems. It's about employing thousands and thousands, soon to be hundreds of thousands of people. So congratulations on your success, and thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you, Phil. It's been a pleasure.
You've been listening to Phil DiBella, and this is FlashCast by PDB. Until next time, go be the best you can be.